TJ, what did you think of the defensive activity today compared to the Creighton game?
Yeah, it was much improved. Still a long ways to go, but we had 20 deflections. We generated 14 steals, and that's who we need to be. So we've got to be highly disruptive. We were much improved from where we were a week ago, but there's a lot that needs to go into this in terms of us getting to where we want to be and how we work to earn that every single day. So clearly when you watch us play, when are we at our best? We're disruptive. We turn people over. We've got a flow in transition. Now you got guys like Torrey and Nelson at the rim. You got guys like Heisey and Milan hunting threes. You know, that's the best version of ourselves, and we have to create that by being disruptive defensively.
What are your thoughts on Dom Nelson's preseason play, and what kind of spark does he provide off the bench?
Yeah, he was electric today. I mean, immediately came into the game, gets a steal, gets a deflection, shakes up the course of the game, gets things going his way. I'm not one that usually looks at plus minus and puts a lot of stock into it, but when one guy's plus 25 and it's such a glaring statistic for that day, you have to you have to recognize that. And I think he did a great job being disruptive. He did a great job getting into the paint. He converted at the foul line, 6 for 6. All those things are going well. You knocked down your three. Just thought it was a really complete game for him. Came in and gave us that impact right away.
With Killian and Dom in the two exhibition games, how excited are you to have those two with Lipsy once he comes back? And did you kind of get an idea how those three might play together?
Yeah, well, I think with Killian, what we saw today is what we've seen every single day. A guy who he is going to score, when it's his time, he's going to get to the basket and make plays. He got the dunk early, which was huge. He makes energy plays like, getting on the floor for a loose ball, or he got the tip in on the offensive rebound. He showed great poise out there running a team for 29 minutes against a team that's pressuring and, has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio and just brings a mentality to our team. So, really been impressed with Killian. He's been somebody that stood out all through practice, and what he did today is what we see every day. When Taman comes back, the neat part for us is it gives us opportunity to have two of those guys on the court quite a bit if we so choose to do that. And now you have more guys that can maybe make a play off the bounce, get into the paint, attack the defense, and get out in transition. So I think Killian is, some of the things that Taman does, they do it differently in their way, but Killian's able to do some of those same things, which is really impactful. And I also think when Taman returns, it'll allow him to be a little bit more of a playmaker because Killian takes such pride in guarding the basketball and being disruptive that I think it'll fit together really well.
And then when you're about ready to add Taman back into the mix, these two exhibition games, did you get a feel for rotations and lineups and maybe how those are going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think today even, look, we gave play to the first run at the backup five, and then Mulder came in, and you're like, man, he's playing really well tonight. And so I think we've got a group where we can put a lot of guys in, and then it's their responsibility on a given night to make their deal work. Clearly, Eric Mulder made his deal work today. Clearly, Dominic Nelson made his deal work. And so when you do that off the bench, you're going to get rewarded with the minutes accordingly. And Mulder, had he not had 4 fouls, and we played small some at the end because we wanted to keep Jefferson on Martinelli, we would have, played Eric more minutes late even with the 4 fouls. So I think more than anything, more than rotation, I would say the guys, when they get into the game, if your impact on winning is so great that game, we're going to continue to give you opportunities, and we're still learning night in and night out what that might look like, But I thought today, in different ways, more what Curtis Jones came into the game, give us instant impact scoring the basketball. That's what Dom Nelson gave us today. Rob Jones, when he came into the game, I felt like would give us an energy play right away. Or Hassan Ward, well, that's what Eric Mulder did when he came in today. So I think that's the important thing, and if those guys do that, their minutes will reflect, the energy they brought.
Hi, TJ. I wanted to expand a little bit more on Killian because I asked Coach Collins about him, and he said, quote, he seems like he's born to play here. What do you think he means by that? Obviously, it was a nod to the type of defense he plays and how that fits with you. But for a guy that came over from France to be born to play in Ames, Iowa, what does that say about him that the opposing coach had that impression?
No, that's high praise. what you see from Killian is what you get. I mean, that's how he brings it every single day. And he hasn't missed a practice. He hasn't missed a workout. He's on time for everything. He's locked in. And so to me, the habits off the court reflect what he does on the court. When he says he's fit, is made to play in this program, I think a lot of that is the ability to guard the basketball and pressure the ball. We've seen over time, certainly what Taman has done and how he's, branded our program that way. Killian has some of those similar attributes. And then, there's a toughness to how he goes about doing everything he does. He makes energy and hustle plays. We've tried to build our program on guys that take pride in making those plays. And so to have a freshman that's showing right away out of the box the ability to do that, that fit from a program standpoint, it feels really good when he's out there. It feels like he's been in this program for a long time.
Does Joshua's ability on the defensive end sometimes get undervalued? Because you mentioned him being on Martinelli a lot. I think Martinelli had 6 turnovers. He always gets 20 points, it seems like. But it wasn't all Joshua, but how would you describe just how well he stood up against him?
Yeah, I mean, Joshua is an extremely intelligent defensive player. He's an effective communicator. He's a great defensive rebounder. He's got size, length, enough mobility to kind of keep people in front. And, I don't know. I'll go watch the film here right after, but we still want to have team defense. We want to generate those turnovers, but yet Joshua is one of the premier defensive players in this league and nationally. And like you said, because it doesn't jump off the page maybe as much in how it looks, but he seems to always be a guy that gets blocks, rebounds, and steals. He ends possessions. And to me, great defenders, there's the guys that can really guard the ball and be disruptive, but then there's also someone's got to finish the possession. And Joshua continues to prove that he's excellent at ending possessions.
Hey, TJ in the back here, Trey Redfield at Local 5. You have 2 exhibitions checked off. Learned a lot about this group. With what you've learned in these 2 exhibition games, what excites you the most about what's to come next week?
Well, what we're seeing is there's a lot of different guys that can impact winning, and so that's exciting. Whether you use the term depth or, to me, I always look at it more like, hey, these are the guys that are all going to get an opportunity on game night to impact it. So, one night or another, there could be fouls, there could be injury. Somebody may not be at their best for one reason or another. And when you have guys that can step up, that's huge. And so, the guys off the bench today, they played like starters. They impacted the game that same way, too. So, we learned we didn't handle going on the road all that well when things weren't going our way. That's got to be a one-time thing we learn and we're better for. I think, people always talk about how defense travels. Well, our defense did not travel. They're a really good team, and at the same time, we need to hang our hat on our disruptiveness defensively. And then we learned, again, I know it's certainly more mentally comforting to play at Hilton, but I think for some of our guys, they don't quite understand the energy that's in this building, and so you've got to adapt to that as well. And to be able to do it in front of our fans today before we have a real game that counts against our record, it's a good opportunity.
How did you think you guys were defensively when they got you in rotation? You had to help and recover.
Yeah, Martinelli's a challenging mismatch player, so a lot of times they use him as the ability to create that. And then I thought a lot of the other times came either in transition or maybe, we missed a layup or got it blocked. I would say we were okay. Sometimes we were able to fix our problems. Sometimes we weren't continuous enough. I think, what we want to see is just guys continuing to fly around, fix it, fly around. And, in certain lineups, maybe we're better than others at that. So it's something we're going to have to continue to evaluate and be great at, because it's those rotations that have built our defense more than anything. It's the other team feeling like we got 6 guys out there. With how we play, there's somebody in the goalie protecting the rim, yet every time you skip the ball or make a pass, there's someone in front of you. So I'd say we were okay, but that's a huge area we got to keep improving.
Does the improvement there come from guys knowing where they're supposed to be, or is it guys playing together longer so they know how to read and react to each other?
Yeah, I think it's more the read and react part of it. Certainly it's if you start in the right position, which for us is so important, that's where you communicate. As soon as the ball ends up somewhere, everyone communicates. And now if you start in the right position, now it becomes the read and react and the rotate. And, hey, this is, this is how we're going to go about doing this. So I think that, for me, is going to be more, we got to keep hammering it home, getting the reps, and that's what will make us better.
Coach, how much does a confident Nate Heisey change this team?
Yeah, Nate Heisey's had a tremendous fall and into practice, and that Nate Heisey right there is the guy that we know that he is, and we're going to challenge him and demand that that's who he is every night out, because he impacted the game significantly on both ends of the court in our favor to win the game. He drove the ball hard even when he didn't get shots. I thought he made some great plays off the deck. He was physical defensively, so we need his mentality that he has on the wing and his physicality, and I think when he does those things, the offense will work for him. And today to knock 5 for 7, like, he's totally got that. We know he can do that, and it's demanding it every single night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.